As a teenager, what was the worst thing your parents ever walked in on you doing?
Am I the only person that never got caught masturbating by my parents?
Even worse, I was in the army and got all fucked up and had to have surgery on my leg. Being a normal 19-year-old, I got bored at night and decided to rub one out. Next day I am sitting there about to have surgery and a female major comes over with a clipboard and asks, "Why did your heart rate spike last night at 2,200? Inner monologue, OHFUCK. You forgot about the shit hooked up to you. She knows. Be cool. You say too much and your ass will get demoted." Oh, I apologize, I heard that the sergeant major was inspecting rooms and had to hop around to clean the room up. Major, okay, and she walks away. TLDR, my penis almost got me an Article 15.
I had a very soft poop earlier that day. I wiped quickly and went about my day. Later my asshole felt itchy, so I went to the bathroom to give it a second wipe. I didn't sit on the toilet to do it. I stood and put my foot on the bath to open up my ass crack and started wiping standing up. My mom walked in, we made eye contact.
I was like 13, and I wanted to know what boobs felt like, so I put balloons down my shirt. Then started to masturbate. Dad walked in, walked right back out. Edit, wow, can't believe I actually got gold for this. Thank you, Nicolas Cage.
Thought my dad left for work in the morning, so I had the house to myself. I got out of the shower and turned the CD speakers on as high as they could go to the amazing tune of Cheeseburger in Paradise. I proceeded to sing and dance around the living room in my birthday suit, pulling off a performance that would have wowed Simon Cowell. As I got to the chorus one last time, I twisted my elegant body to see my dad witnessing me in mid-performance. He just shook his head and left. I decided to cut the music and take another shower in shame. My singing and dancing career also ended that day.
When I was probably 12, my mom found the tape measure in the bathroom. My dad couldn't keep a straight face when she was yelling at me for never putting things back, which only made my mom angrier as she couldn't connect the dots. My dad reminded me of the story years later, swearing that my mother never figured out what I was doing with the tape measure.
Well, when I was younger, I saw a black-laced bra lying on the floor. I thought to myself, how would this look on me? So I went to the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror to try it on. Unfortunately for me, I forgot to lock the door, and my dad walked in on me, topless with a black bra on. I'm a guy, by the way.
My mother walked in on my then girlfriend giving me a blowjob. She said it was seared into her vision.
Me and my boyfriend were fooling around with the slow motion feature on the new iPhone and trying out different things to slow-mo. We decided to take a video of him slapping and jiggling his thighs. So he was in his boxers, and I knelt down in front of him to get the best cinematographic angle, probably a foot away from his pelvic area. Cue my dad not knocking and walking in on me with a camera on my knees pointed at my boyfriend's junk in his boxers. My boyfriend just bursted out laughing, and all I could muster was, "It's not what you think." He didn't say a word and closed the door.
Court doesn't apply. But when I was younger, I walked it into the living room and said, "I need bigger condoms," and walked away.
I was taking spicy photos for my boyfriend. I was under the impression that my mom was sleeping 2 stories up, but she is the nosiest woman in the world and must have heard a creak in the stairs when I was walking around. She didn't catch me in the act, but the candles everywhere, me in just a bathrobe, and the guilty look on my face must have told her everything she needed to know. Didn't stop her from still trying to pry the actual answer out of me, for shits and giggles I guess. Whatever, those photos came out great. No, I'm not sharing.
A weekend I was just doing nothing, so I spent the entire day playing video games. I showered until like 3 p.m, and I never dried myself up with a towel. I just sat in my couch, towel around my waist, eating a hot dog, playing Dead or Alive, Extreme Beach Volleyball. Also one time she was walking outside my room and I was talking with a friend on the phone playing Metal Gear Solid 2. I told my friend I'm going crazy, where's this naked slut? I cannot find her in any of these lockers, aha, here she is. And my mom came in. I was on the phone, watching Snake beat it on the codec, and I told my mom I'm hunting for achievements. She saw me with a "why didn't I have more children" face and left without saying anything. and as soon as she closes the door I said yay achievement. I was playing with our ladder in the backyard. I had taken my hockey goal apart and was using the net like I was a gladiator and some of the plastic tubing as some sort of melee weapon. The ladder was a giraffe. I netted it, beat it into submission and then rode it. Eventually I picked it up like I was a wrestler and was spinning around. My dad saw the whole thing. I was 16 years old.
I must have been about 11 or 12 at the time, and I was sat in the front room watching SpongeBob after school. I had a weird pain in my right nut, so decided to free up some extra space in the area by taking my school pants off. I'm not sure whether I knew what masturbation was at the time, but I obviously didn't think anything was weird about sitting watching TV in my boxers. The pain got worse and started to worry me, so I decided to investigate with my hands. Cue my mum walking into what she only saw as me, with my pants round my ankles, fiddling with my dick, watching SpongeBob. We haven't talked about it since.
Fingering my cousin. I don't want to explain any further.
You don't want to, but you should. For Australia, science.
Well, it wasn't so much what I was doing, Pass, but when I was 13, this 20-something dude who would hang out in a chat room of preteen girls was flirting with me, which I was digging. I was very mature for my age after all, so it made sense, and once sent me a picture of his dick. I thought it was funny, so I spread it around, and I was telling some friends about it at school. My teacher overheard and called my parents out of concern. What followed was the most awkward, mortifying talk I'd ever had with my parents ever. They were very loving but very concerned, and I felt so stupid.
I was getting dressed for a softball game and I had my jersey on and my sliding shorts. I was sitting on my bed pulling up my long socks when my mom barged into my room. I immediately tried to cover myself out of reflex, and she just stood there and said something to the effect of, "Oh, so that's how you get ready for games," assuming I was masturbating. I wasn't, and I tried to deny it, but she just gave me this knowing look. It was so painfully awkward, and I wasn't even masturbating.
I went to an anime convention when I was 13, and I had exchanged AIM usernames with 3 adult guys. One of them would just send me porn links and I stopped talking to him. Another was low-key and ended up not being that interested in talking to me. Then there was the third guy. I don't remember too many details, but we talked every day and I considered him a genuine friend of mine. It was pretty innocent on my end, but his relationship with me was inappropriate. Back in middle school, of course, I had these weird crushes on anime dudes. So I'd tell him all about how I had the hots for such and such characters. At one point we exchanged phone numbers, and I think my mom started to think something was up when she heard me talking on the phone in my room one day, basically, because I didn't have a social life. A few days later, my dad wanted to know who I was talking to on the phone. I hang up, give him my phone, and then he sits at my computer and reads the conversation I'd just had with this guy. I'm so mortified to this day. I remember I'd told him in that IM exchange about how I wanted to make a pair of underwear with an anime guy's face on it. Something about getting wet while wearing that underwear, and poo, in the context of bathroom humor. Anyways, that's the last time I ever spoke to him, and then my friend told him I was dead. He believed her. TLDR, that moment when my dad read a conversation between his 13-year-old daughter and her adult male friend concerning weird sexual anime fantasies.
Thank you for watching. Please drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this.